Hello everyone, welcome to Chess Gyaan in 3 minutes, and I'm Grand Master Priyadharshan Kannappan, and the topic that we are going to be discussing today is not to capture g takes f3 and why it's bad. We've already been discussing this chapter for the last 3 episodes, and this is going to be like a test. So every time you see a position, pause the video and think what you would do and then proceed forward. So the ideas that you see on the position is that it's black to play, and what would you play? Black decided bishop takes f3, which is like kind of in the same theme as what we are looking at, and after queen takes f3, if white had played this move, then this pawn on d4 is hanging and black can just simply capture queen takes d4 and black would be an extra pawn. So white decided to play g takes f3 instead, and the point of it being if knight takes d4, white has this move rook e7, queen e7, queen d4, and white has two minor pieces for a rook and pawn. So instead of going into this line, black decided to go bishop d6, which is a very nice move in my opinion because it's targeting this weak h2 pawn. And after d5, knight e5, queen e2, rook e8 with a very nice little trap being set by black, which is knight takes f3, and if queen f3, rook e1, and white loses the rook. So white goes bishop e3 and black goes queen d7, activating the queen and aiming to land on the h3 square, which is very weak. And white makes a big blunder with h3, allowing black to play queen h3, f4, knight f3, and it's game over. So let's move on to the next example. So the position that we have on the board is black to play, and I'm pretty sure you would have guessed the move. If not, pause the video and make the decision before continuing to press on the play button. So knight takes f3 was played, and g takes f3, and now the king is very exposed on g1. Black goes queen d7, again aiming at the weak pawn on h3, and bishop b5 was played, c6, and after bishop a4, black just captures the pawn on h3, and now the f3 pawn is also hanging, and after a3, which is a random move by white, bishop takes f3, queen e1, queen g2, it's a checkmate. So let's move on to the final test position of this whole theme. So the position what we have is already there's a knight on f3, and the question is what would you play if you had the white pieces. If you decided to play bishop f3, brilliant, you understood the concepts very well, and that I should capture bishop f3 is a very nice decision if you made that, because the pawn structure is intact and everything is cool. If you decided to play g takes f3 like the player who played white in this game, it's a very bad decision because bishop takes h3 is there on the board. White loses a pawn, and not just that, the king's safety is also heavily the king is very weak. So after rook e1, queen e6, very nice move. So black is aiming at queen g6, queen g2 check. White just forgets about black's threat, and white goes f4, and after f4, queen g6 check, king h2, queen g2, it's a checkmate. So the important point to note is that whenever you play g takes f3, it is like building a castle but forgetting to build a entry door, so that the opponent can easily come inside your castle and attack. It's very important to also build the entry gates very strong for a castle to remain safe. So that should be the takeaway from this topic, and please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon, and I'll be back with a different theme and different episode. Bye bye everyone. Signing off is Grand Master Priyadharshan.